What's good people, it's Jay Cactus. Welcome to the channel. In this video I'm going to be making a UK drill beat. I'll be using some of the standard techniques to get that original drill sound, but I'll be adding in a little bit of cactus sauce as well just to give it my own twist. But before you watch the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't already, please check out the new beat tape that I've released, which is the Prick Tape Volume 1, which is on all streaming platforms now. But yeah, let's get into it. Right, so when you're producing drill, the first thing that you want to do is choose some instruments and pick a scale that's quite dark. So with scales, anything minor would work for drill. So in this case, the scale I'm going to go with is B minor, and I'm going to have scale highlighting selected on B and natural minor. I've already chosen the instruments that I want to use just to save some time for the tutorial, and the main one I'm going to go with is the Dream Glock piano in Omnisphere. And the first thing I'm going to do with this is playing some chords. So I've got my first chord. These up. Right, so I've got a nice chord progression going here. It's sounding kind of dark already. I'm just going to copy this across and then change the last one. I just like to change the last one to add a bit of variation so it's not so repetitive. And then the next thing to do is to work on a counter melody. Right, so the counter melody I've got is this. Then I'm going to select everything, randomize the velocity, and I'm going to bring down the volume of the top ones because those high ones sound kind of harsh. Right, so now we've got this. So the melody sounds normal so far and it's like a typical drill melody, but my own little sauce that I add to a lot of my beats is the reverse effect in Effectrix. So you can just highlight the full thing, you can play with the time and the decay and the fade until it's sounding right, and then it will sound something like this. And that gives it a nice bounce. But you can hear when you press play, it has a bit of a delay before it starts. So what I like to do is record it into Edison. I'll select record here, hit play. Make sure I've got the perfect loop. So this should sound perfect now. There we go. And then I can drag this onto the playlist and I've got my perfect loop. I've also added an EQ to take out some of the lows, but not too many, just below 100 Hz. And then a little bit of reverb, just almost 10%. So now that I've got the melody in place, I'm going to jump straight onto the snare. And typically for drill snares, you want to have the pattern like this. Right, so it's kind of like a trap pattern, except you're delaying the second one. So usually a trap pattern would go there, but you're just skipping that and moving towards this one. So then I can copy and paste this. And then for the hi-hat, typically drill patterns go like this. You'll skip two, skip two, skip one, skip two, skip two, skip one, and then just follow that groove. And then you can copy and paste this. And then to get a real bounce going, I'm gonna add a few notes an octave down. So if we're working on C, I can drop down to this C. And then I can add in some kind of like ghost notes with the velocity down. And you can add these wherever you want, just get creative with it and try to find a nice bounce. So for mine, you can see what I've done here. Added a few more normal notes. And then at the beginning, all I did here was set it to quarter note, or quarter step, sorry, and then just add in 4, but brought the velocity down. So I'll play that with the beat. I've also added in a second hi-hat pattern, which sounds like this. Some quick rolls. And then I've put in an open hat. And for the 808, this is the pattern I've come up with. And obviously for drill, you need a lot of slides in there. That's what gives it that authentic sound. So you can see from here, I'm just following the bass notes of the melody. So because I've got ghost notes on, I can see that it starts on E and then goes up to F sharp, down to E, and it's doing the same on this. So have a listen to this. And then for the kick, I'm following a similar pattern to the bass, but not every single note. So something like this. The other thing I wanted to add in is some vocal chops. So I used Exhale for this. This is probably the best plugin for vocal chops. So this sounds like. So with drill, you don't need to go too crazy and add so many different sounds. A lot of it comes down to the pattern of the hi-hats, the snare pattern, and the 808 slides. They're key for any drill beat. And obviously the eerie melody that you use to start off with. But you don't need to go overboard. The only other thing that you could add in is maybe a couple perks or just impact noises or sweeps, just to make it more interesting. So I'm going to arrange everything now, mix it down, and then I'll show you the outcome. So as you can see, I've done quite a bit for the arrangement, and the only other thing that I've added on is a perk here with some delay on it. So just this standard drill perk. And you can hear the delay that I've got on there. And the delay that I've used the Fruity delay bank. So on the first one, I've got the time set to 3, and on the second one, I've got the time set to 8. So there's 2 different delays going. And the first one is in ping pong mode as well, so it's going to the left and right ear. So for the main melody, I used iZotope Vinyl just to switch it up a little bit. So I'm only going to have this in the intro and places like the bridge. And you can see that the automation is set. So it's on for the intro, off for the verse, comes back on for like the bridge chorus part. So in the beginning I've just got the hi-hats playing and the perk, so my tag comes in. So this bit sounds sick, so for this part I created a delay effect with the 808s. So I've got this mad slide pattern here, but then as you can see with the velocity, I've brought it down a little bit each time. So it goes down, and then for the last one it comes back up just before the drop. And then isotope vinyl is off. We've got the 808s, the kick, hi-hat, snare. And then the next part of the verse, a little hi-hat break, and then just a little bit of the vocals. So I want to show you this part here because it sounds like a sweep. But this is something that I've created using the melody that we're using. So I'll show you the process. So what I'm going to do is open an instance of Edison, and I'm going to add another reverb just because I want to add a lot just for this one effect. So the Fruity reverb is fine, you don't have to use any paid plugins for it. Right, so I'm going to increase the separation, bring up the wet, bring up the decay quite a bit, increase the size of the room, just a bit of low cut. So then I'm going to solo the melody. Maybe add a bit more reverb, more decay. Perfect. So now in Edison, I'm going to select record here, and I'm just going to press play and then stop. Right, so once it records all of that, you don't need the bit at the beginning, and just make sure you get the tail of the reverb, and then you can drag that in, go on it, reverse it, and now you've got your own sweep. Right, so that's just an easy way to create your own sweeps instead of going through all your effects folders trying to find one that works, because that's obviously going to sound perfect along with your melody. It's going to be in the same key. The sound's going to be a bit similar but noticeably different as well. So after the sweep we come into a bit of a bridge or the first part of the chorus. And then the second part of the chorus. Slightly different 808 pattern, just a bit more subtle. And then I've got that crazy delay 808 just before the drop. And then it just repeats. So my tag's in there just for BeatStars, but I don't usually keep that many in. I usually just have one at the beginning. So yeah, I hope you took something from that tutorial. Hope you're feeling the beat as well. I've been producing a lot of drill recently, so if you want to check out some of my other beats, they're on my main YouTube page, which is just JCactus. I didn't want to go too in depth in this tutorial. I just wanted to show you some of the little techniques that I use when I'm making drill beats. I didn't want it to be too dark like a typical UK drill beat, because I always like to add my own sauce on. So I hope you're feeling the vibe, and if you like the beat, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay up to date with all the tutorials that I'm going to be dropping as well. Also, if there's a particular tutorial that you want from me, then again, just drop a comment and I'll hook you up with that. So I'm going to play the full beat now, and I'll see you next time. JCactus.